amazing day, everyone. Welcome back to another episode from me, Azu. In this episode, I am going to try the impossible and build the Amsterdam Central Railway Station. I am going to walk you through the whole process from the planning all the way until it is done, and then talk about some small details and small techniques that can help you make more detailed builds. And of course, the best way to support me is to subscribe to my channel, to like the video, and if you will be so kind to leave a comment, that would mean a lot to me. So, to start off the research, I started to look for everything related to the Amsterdam Central Station. Well, I mainly needed the dimensions, but I couldn't find it. Although I could find that there are a lot of possibilities for you to travel around, because you have trains, you have trams, you have ferries, you have buses, bicycles, everything. So if you want to build this thing in your survival world, then you will have a lot of options to travel around this station. So what happens if I cannot find the right dimensions? That's not a problem, right? Because we have an option to right click and see measure distance from here all the way to... So it is 239 meters roughly from one side to the other. So I am going to make notes about it. Alright, and the next thing that I'm going to measure is going to be the width, this part, which is around, well, we can say it's 25. And let's see the width of this part, which is going to be 25 as well. But at the end of the day, I made my calculations, but I always have to adjust some things after. And just a side note, after all, well, although I calculated everything and I do the math part of the whole thing, of course it ended up not matching with the numbers that I had on my blueprint. I'm going to share it with you just so you can see it, but of course, because of some windows and widths and because blocks did not fit next to each other, I had to modify just a little bit. Actually, it's really funny because while I was doing my research, because I usually watch videos about the stations or any builds that I'm going to build so I can see the interior and stuff, I just found out that you have a 24/7 live stream of the Amsterdam railway station. Yeah, it is just funny. So let me just walk you through the mods and tools I'm going to use to build this whole thing. For the tools, I'm going to use Word Edit, which is this really popular builder mod. I'm also going to use Axiom, which is kind of like Word Edit on steroids. And the mods I'm going to add are going to be Create Copycats Plus, which is, well, an essential mod for me. It's a really good one. You can use the copycats. And, well, Basic Create. And I also used Chipped for more variety of textures. I started with the basic shapes, rectangles, squares. Then I stacked up the walls to make them actually match the real life heights. And so everything is just about planning. You always have to remember it. Planning is key. What you can see right now is something I call inflatable castle building style, because this wool planning phase always end up looking like those inflatable rubber castles. And it looked like this before the adjustment. So the first thing that I like to do when I start to do the texturing and detailing is starting with the details. Why? Because when I will have the details, I can adjust the textures according to the details. I think that's the easiest and smartest way to go around this whole thing, because it would just look so bad if you start to do the shadowing and texturing all over these surfaces and then you just cover them with the details, right? And lucky me, this railway station is 90% symmetrical, so I can just do one side and then copy paste it to the other. So I think let's start with the bottom one. And the same thing goes for these as well. So I am going to go all over here, say second position. I just right click with my axe and I say // replace. I'm not going to name anything as replace from, I am just going to say / replace, and I will just add another marking block, for example, cyan wool. So in this case, every block that is in that range I just selected will be replaced with cyan wool, you see? So now I'm just going to use the axiom. Okay, so now we can select the baseboard part. I mean, I just call it baseboard part, but I think it is the baseboard part, which is going to be some brighter tiles. In this case, I'm going to replace them with diamond block, for example. Yeah, the good old diamond blocks. Okay, and according to Google Maps, I will have 4 windows here and should be here as well. I mean, here there will be 4 doorways. I have to solve that somehow, but I will have 4 windows here, and we just have to see how can we distribute evenly. Most of the times I just try to do the center thing. So that's the center of the building. Okay, that's cool. I'm also going to mark this one and this one as well. Let's see. Okay, so it's 2, that's 2, and right here I can either pick it like this or like this. Question is, which looks better? But I think I'm gonna go like this, and I will have to solve it somehow here as well. Or actually, I might move that a little bit. There you go. Let's confirm it with right click. Now I'm going to select stack, and now we will have to have the same thing right there. Okay, so now we have everything ready and set it up, and I'm just going to copy paste this over and over again. I mean, just 2 times, because now we have the same width of this build, and that's just perfect. That's just perfect in that sense, which is great. Now I can go to axiom. I'm gonna press the left shift. I'm gonna skip all these things, and I'm gonna select the magic selection tool, right? I'm gonna right click the blocks that I want to select. This is the diamond block in this case now. So I don't want to do too fancy with it. I'm just gonna do a noise painter because, well, it's a really small surface, so I don't want to mess around too much with it. And I'm gonna bring down the scale. I'm gonna add some polished diorite. I'm gonna add some calcite. Yeah, it doesn't look so bad. I can maybe just do some change ups that the blocks in the corner could be darker a little bit. But that's the case right here, so no worries. Okay, so now I'm just going to press X right here, and I'm going to select the cyan wool, right? Okay, and now what I want to do is, I just found this really helpful, that I'm going to do gradient painter. I have to mark some blocks that I think will work, and in this case I think it's going to be stripped birchwood and sandstone. Okay, so now we can have the smaller details. And so I'm gonna place down the pillars now. I'm going to use diorite wall, or maybe copycat shafts. Okay, so in this case, I have to use copycat shafts because I'm in an old version and I do not have the pale oak fences. In this case, what I have left is make the windows, and the windows are separated windows, so there are actually 2 windows in one opening. So I'm gonna do it like this, and now they are separated. Look, it looks gorgeous. It looks really cool, and it gives you the effect that it has a dark oak trim around it. See, because it has the depth. Perfect. I love it. I just love it. Gosh, I think that the blueprint that I have just shown in the beginning about the heights and stuff is going to go to the trash, the whole thing, because as I can see, I had to move these towers with 6 blocks, and I think I have to raise the height as well. But you know, when I was calculating it, it looked so much different, and now it looks like this. So alright, so I just want to give you a little heads up. I have just installed Chibbed. I have some concerns with this mod because, well, the texture mapping is not really good with the copycat things, and honestly they don't really align in some cases. Like here, I think it's really like, you know, the lines are not matching. But other than that, I think this gives me more opportunities to detail and to make the whole build better. And what have I done? In the meantime, I have just added these copycat bite slabs, or no, it's actually panels, copycat bite panels, and I have made these outer brick rims here. And I made the texturing with the rounded sandstone and with the small sandstone bricks, and it just looks so much better, in my opinion. So I have done this thing as well for the other windows right there, as you can see, but the problem for me is, again, you see, it doesn't look so good. I mean, it's not a big problem from far off. Oh, and I also replaced these decorations with copycat pipes. You see, flute pipes. And I have added this, let me just see what's the name of that thing, wooden bracket to them. So now they look a bit better. And in this case, I can also do this, add this. And look, now it's a bit more realistic. Actually, let me see if there are any birch bricks. Gosh, it sounds so strange. I just don't know if it's right to do it like that, but I mean, hey. This is still Minecraft. Do whatever you want to. This is a creative sandbox game. No one can tell you what you can do or what you cannot, and don't let them. So the window frames were really tricky. I was thinking about what should I use for them, and I decided that I am going to use copycat slices. And for the small white and yellowish brick parts on the side of the tower, I used stacked diorite and stacked sandstones. For the texturing, of course, I used bricks, small granite bricks from chipped, and I used the regular granite block. For the window trims, I used birchwood variants, and I think it turned out pretty great. Okay, so now let's continue on with the middle section. The main idea behind this middle section is that this tower has the same faces on all sides, except that it doesn't. Oh, I think I won the competition in saying the silliest thing that doesn't make sense at all. So basically I have to build everything alike the other one, but in this facade we have some frescoes and golden statues and, you know, these 3D arts and paintings. Okay, it looks decent. It looks okay. And now I have to do the same thing that was here. So I am just going to recreate this part, which is going to be, well, pretty, let's say easy, but in reality, it's not really. So how it's gonna look? Okay, so the problem is that we have a lot of half blocks here, so we can't do it in the regular way. So I will try to recreate it. Add another layer to that. Yeah, doesn't look bad. It's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough one, and I'm going to experiment with everything. Okay, so this is the final resolution that I came up with, and I think in general it's not that bad. And so we have this part, but to make this window, I am going to use, look at this. This is a window. This is a window frame. I mean, yeah, in practice, it's kind of a window frame. Like so. And bricks as well. That's perfect. Now I am going to finish off the side of this building, and I will show you around. I think the ratios and everything else turned out pretty well. I really love this clock. I want to make it move with the clockwork bearing, which is somewhere here. But now, of course, it's not possible because it's still in the process of building. So now it is done. What is left now, in case of this area, is this middle section. Well, another thing is that I don't really have a reference photo about these gates, but that's not a big problem now. Oh my, it's gonna look so fun. I mean, it's great. It looks great. Let me just do some more speed building on this facade area, and then I will come back with the details. But of course, if you want some build alongs in the future and you don't mind if the videos are going to be up to like 1 hour, I'm happy to do build alongs. After quite a build, I mean, this middle section was probably the worst of the whole build. I don't know why. It was just so tiring to make it, but it turned out how it turned out. I guess it's not that bad. The roof is also done, and I copy pasted it to the other side. Well, alrighty, people. What do you think? This tower is done as well, and I also made the ground and just the walkthrough because I know that it's not as good to build together in a time lapse, but that's why I want to show you around. So I again just use these panels. I used byte panels and I use these copycat vertical slices. I think I used these all over the area, like there as well. So I think this is a pretty good practice for me by now. And I kind of just copy pasted that decoration from the two side towers, and everything else was pretty easy. Well, I think the hardest part was the roof, and this top piece is, well, don't ask me about that. I don't really know how should I do that like that, but I think it started to pick a shape. So now what I have left is this one. I still have to watch some reference photos because, well, it's gonna be a bit harder than I feel like by now. But look, I'm going to walk you through the whole thing. Well, I'm just going to clone this area because it uses the same thing. And right now I'm using an Axiom tool, which is the clone. And I just select the area and I start to scroll it, and we'll align with the place where I want to do it. And I think, oh yeah, perfect. It's the exact same width. And here is like a 3D fresco, which I'm going to solve with the diorite where he ends again. Cool. I think it looks cool. These diorite blocks, the detailed ones. Okay, so the drill is I'm going to build one side and then copy paste it. And if it doesn't look like that in real life, it's not a big problem because now it will look like that. So it should be alright like that. Alright, so to be honest, this part of the build was a little bit like a nightmare, and it's not really set it up from the inside, and I honestly don't really wish to do that because, I mean, it's like a hollow building. I don't want to do anything interior wise because I want people, if you want to download it, or if anyone wants to download it, you can just do whatever you want to with this. So I think that's quite the catch of the whole thing. It's only you. You can do everything that you want to. You can put offices here. You can put your storage room here. This right here is going to be, I think it's the ticket office, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really know. I know that the other building right there was the Oost, which I don't know what is that, but if you're from the Netherlands and you know what Oost means, just let me know, please.
Then after the final side building, I just made all the platforms and all the roofs for the platforms in live streams. So I made 2 live streams between these 2 sections, between the side build and the roofs. And if you are interested in that, just please check out my live stream VODs. They are on this channel. It's almost like 7 to 8 hours of footage. So you will have a pretty cool build along, 8 hours of build along. So Alright guys, so after the platforms and the roofs are done, I think it's time to get the finishing touches. Hopefully these will be the finishing touches. So I built the platforms and the roofs in my live streams. I actually have like 7 to 8 hours of footage. And now I just kind of want to finish off the whole thing. So now I just have to have the mole area here. But I don't really mean to overdo it, so you can customize it to your own taste or your own ideas. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, as of now, I'm hereby to announce that the station is done. Well, of course, there are a lot of things that also can be like added to this whole thing, but again, I want to make it so you can actually modify it however you want to. The reason why it took a bit more time is because I also decided to make the ferry station here, but other than that, of course, so I think that the main ground texture here doesn't look good. It's just stone, brick, and stone, but it's also because, well, it's just a default texture. You can and you should change it. And of course, if you will place it in your survival world, ground texture will be different anyway, so you don't really have to. This is just, you know, just to make the station stand on something. So of course, I made the interior. Oh my gosh, look at that. But just to show you around, here are the security gates. Here are the stairs that are taking you up to the platforms, and they are going all the way everywhere. These are for the shops, small shops. Honestly, I didn't overdo them. But other than that, everything turned out pretty okay-ish if you look at the whole thing. As you can see, it's not that much lighted up. Well, in some places it is, but of course you can just do it for yourself. And you can also put decorations on the platforms like luggages or crates or chests. I was also thinking about making the elevators here, but again, you can do that, but if you want to have this in a medieval themed or like an old school themed setup, you don't have to have elevators. And I also paid attention to that for example, here there are no elevator stairs because, well, if you want to use it in an old school setup, it will not make so much sense to have elevators. This is kind of how it looks from the top with the big Amsterdam logo. This is how it looks from the front, from the side, and the back. And of course, you can access the roads. I just want to advise you to use your creativity and yeah, dress this thing up. I gave you the base, and now it's your turn to do something about it. I would also like to mention that I am actually giving away my schematics and these buildings for free, but I only have one requirement from you. Since the greatest help that you can provide me is liking the video or leaving a comment or subscribing to my channel, I would like to ask you to please like the video, and of course I will post the schematics after we reach 100 likes. I don't want to get money for this, I don't need any monetary support, I only need just a like or a subscription or maybe a comment, whatever it is, or all 3 of them. But honestly, just please help me to boost the algorithm a little bit. I am really grateful if you do so and if you help me. So again, thank you so much. I wish you an amazing day, and right now all I can say is take care and see you in the next one. Bye bye.